Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? We're finally on there. I see we got some people in here already. We got Ethan. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna welcome you guys in. Let's give everybody some time. When you come in, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the like button so we get the notifications out. So let's give everybody some time to get in here. I see we got a few people in here. So I'm gonna give everybody some time to get on in here. And just also check in when you come in so I know where you're coming from while we wait for everybody. Okay, I see we got 12 people. Make sure you guys hit the likes. I got a lot I want to cover today, so the notifications go out. We got 16 people in here. Kanye Blades, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Ethan, good to see you. Make sure you guys hit the likes. We got 24 people in here. I know it's a Sunday, so I want to get as many people in here as possible. We got 25 people. Let's just give it a few minutes. Let me just greet all of you. Timothy, how you doing? Hey, Mark, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Mohammed, good to see you. Hello, watching from Lebanon. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that. Inglewood, how you doing? Oh, guys, by the way, Marco's also in here. So if you see Dreamers Pro chat, he's a part of the chat. So he's here too. Y'all can say what's up to him too. Tyrone, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Robert, how you doing, Robert? From Virgin Islands, good to see you. Good to see you. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. We're almost at 30 people. Let's try to get as many people in here as possible before we start. I want to take as many questions today, as many questions as I can. So let's just give everybody time to come in again. Thank you so much. Hey, Charlie, good to see you. Martinez from downtown LA, good to see you. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. We're at 30 people. Let's just wait a little bit more. Sugar Ray, good to see you, man. Good to see you, Sugar Ray, as always. Good to see you. Thanks so much for Sugar Ray has a Clippers page on Facebook, and he always shares a lot of our content. So Sugar Ray, he's the man for that, man. We appreciate that. Kevin Durant, what's good? What's good? Seattle in the house. Good to see you. Okay, so let's wait a little bit longer. We've only been on here for 2 minutes, so let's just give it a few more minutes while everybody comes in here. Midnight Blue, man, good to see you from Long Beach. Good to see you guys, man. Toronto in the house. Good to see you, Toronto. P King, your boy G Greg. Did you know the Clippers already have 13? Did you know the Clippers actually have 13? No, I didn't know that, man. Don John, good to see you, man. David Banner, what's good? What's good? Okay, we're at 40 people now. We're almost there. Let's get to about 50 plus people. It's only been about 2.5 minutes, so let's just wait a little bit longer so everybody comes in here. Okay, I see you guys from there. Okay. Who else did I miss? Timothy from London. Okay, good to see you, man. Welcome. So let's just give it 1 more minute or so. We're almost at 50 people, and then we'll get started. I got a lot of stuff I want to cover today. So, guys, by the way, usually what happens with these lives is once people come in and the thing starts getting crazy, we usually get like 1,000 plus comments. So if you guys want to make sure your comments are responded to and read, because there's so many comments, make sure you join the channel. Just hit the $ and join the channel. It makes it a lot easier for me to see your comments. So once I see it, I see a loyalty badge. You get a loyalty badge with your name, so it allows me to respond to you a lot easier from the crowd. So let's just give it about 30 more seconds. We're almost at 50 people. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like so the notifications go out. Got the chance to watch the Clippers game today. Okay, you're going to go to the game. That's what's up. I seen Ibaka in a music video. Please, I hope you're joking. Clark, I hope you're joking. Let's give it 30 more seconds. We're almost at 50 people, and then we'll start. Hey, Sam, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Start off with how Paul George has been playing lately. I'll definitely get to that. Myron, please remind me of that. That's not part of what I wanted to talk about today, but remind me that I'll bring it up later. Sam from Nicaragua. Wow. That's what's up. Okay. So we got about 50, close to 50 people in here now. Let's just keep getting the like. So when people come in, make sure you tell them to hit the like button. Guys, if you haven't joined the channel, make sure you join the channel now, because once I start, a lot of the comments are going to start coming in, so I'm going to miss a lot of this stuff. Let's give it 30 more seconds, and then we'll get started. Anyway, I'll just start now, and then people will come in. Anyway, so first of all, this is something that I really want to talk about. Okay, this thing about the Clippers, some key players missing games. We were recently on a live, probably 2 or 3 days ago. It was for the Sixers game. And during that Sixers game, we were chatting live on Dreamerspro Max. For those of you guys who don't know what Dreamerspro Max is an online sports community that we created. You can chat live during games, post basketball topics, watch original content. We got a video dropping on there later today that's not going to be on the channel, so you guys can definitely check that out and get 7 days of access. But we're also trying to figure out a way to bring to our channel how we can connect you guys in some of this live chatting during the games, because I think you guys are pretty much going to enjoy that. But anyway, we were talking about the fact of how so many key Clippers players have been missing in action, right? Because I went into that game, although I picked the Clippers to win that game, they lost a close game. They only lost by 3 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. But I mentioned the fact in the chat, I said there's no way that the Clippers are going to go into the playoffs and play against teams that have very good centers or very good bigs, like I don't know, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, these type of guys, and do it without Serge Ibaka. I said this, right? Now, Zubac can hold his own to a certain extent, but Joel Embiid pretty much did what he wanted to do. The guy almost had almost 40 points, 36 points, and I think 14 rebounds, right? He was unstoppable. He was pretty much unstoppable in that game. So I said that they're going to need their key. Some people said, well, maybe they need to rest them. Maybe they need to rest them. So this is what I want to talk about today, because I think it's an issue. So first of all, let me just say this quickly, guys. The Clippers have played 58 games so far in the season. 58. It's a 72-game season. That means the Clippers have, as we speak, including tonight, the Clippers have 14 games left in the season. If you don't count today, they have 13 games left in the season. I want you guys to pay attention to that number. It's a very important number. Of the 58 games that the Clippers have played this season, Serge Ibaka has played 39. Serge Ibaka has missed 19 games this season. Serge Ibaka. Okay. Serge is a very important piece that they brought in to replace Montrezl Harrell. So far, he hasn't played in the 2021 calendar year. He played the majority of those games when the season started, and then I think in January. He's missed the last 19 games. So essentially, Serge is looking at missing at least a month of basketball. Okay. Then you have Patrick Beverley, who I like. Okay. I like Patrick Beverley a lot. Patrick Beverley, guys, of the 58 available games, he's only played 31. Patrick Beverley, as we speak today, has missed 27 games. Essentially, of the games played, Patrick Beverley has missed roughly 50% of the season. Roughly 50% of the season. I see you guys leaving a lot of comments. Just keep leaving your comments. I'm going to try to answer as many of them as I can. I see a lot of comments are coming in. Just leave them in the comment section. I'm going to keep answering. I'm going to answer them as we go on. But if you want to make sure your comments are responded to, make sure you join the channel so I can see it a lot better. But I'm going to get to it. I just want to kind of finish my point here. Okay. The guy's missed about 50% of the season, right? He's basically hasn't played half of the season. And last time we heard from Patrick Beverley, he came back, he played 2 games, and then he found out that he had an issue, that he had a fractured hand that he didn't even know about that he played with. Okay. And then they said that was going to keep him out for an additional 3 to 4 weeks. I think it's safe to assume that Patrick Beverley is not going to come back this week coming up. I don't even think he's going to be available. Right? So if we're looking at the 14 games that the Clippers have, let's say they're playing about 3 to 4 games a week. Okay. That means they have 4, 8, 12. They have 3.5 weeks left. And Pat most likely is going to miss another week. Okay. Just I want you guys to keep these numbers in the back of your mind. Serge Ibaka, the reason he went out, they said, was because he has stiffness in his lower back. No problem. People can get injured. No problem. The only thing is, there's been no timetable for his return. We don't know when Serge is coming back. Every time they ask the coach, Ty Lue, any news on Serge Ibaka? Nothing. Nobody knows what's going to happen. They never mention anything about when Serge is planning on coming back. And for me, that's a little bit troublesome. That's not a good sign. Let me see what some of you guys are saying. Okay, let me see. Some of you guys are leaving a lot. Guys, make sure you guys go ahead and hit the likes. Make sure you hit the likes. The likes are a little bit low. Let's get them a little bit higher so we get more people in here. I want us to get at least over 100 people. So make sure you hit the likes. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot for that. So let me see. Let me read just some of the comments you guys have been saying. Let me read. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Do you think Kawhi's injury is serious? I'm going to get to that a little bit later Injuries are not a joke. Rest the starting players before someone gets injured. Know the bench. Okay, I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna address that point, Peking. I'm gonna address that in a little bit. Do you think Serge will come back this week? I have no idea. Jones. Make sure you guys keep hitting that like. We're almost at 100 people. Let me see. Who is a better defender, Patrick or who? Patrick or Rondo? No, that's Patrick Beverly. Do you think the Clippers need another defensive-minded center around 6'11"? Well, this because Serge has been okay. This is the whole point. This was the reason why the Clippers went out there and signed DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins was just an insurance policy to Serge Ibaka being out. That's pretty much all it was. They went and got him because they didn't know when Serge was coming back, right? Now, if the question is, do they need to go get another one? I think it's probably a little bit too late in the game to do that. If they do that, then the Clippers could potentially have, 4 centers on their team? I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they have enough spots on their roster to go out there and get a 4th center. And if that's the case, this is Midnight Blues question, then we're basically assuming that he's not coming back, which is even worse, which is even a worse sign. Like if Serge doesn't come back, make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. We're almost at 100. So let me continue with my points. Keep leaving your questions here, guys. Again, don't forget to join the channel so I can see your questions. So just keep leaving your comments, and I'll keep going. Now, this season for the Clippers, Serge Ibaka is averaging for the Clippers this year in the games that he's played. He's averaging 11 points per game. He's getting you 6.7 rebounds and 1.7 assists and 1.2 blocks. He's shooting 50% from the field and 35% from the three. That 35% from the three that he's shooting is very important because the Clippers do not have another center on the team that can stretch the floor the way Serge Ibaka does. If you guys saw a lot of the games early in the season, this was one of the things that made this team different from the team that they had last year. Zubac cannot draw opposing bigs out to the three-point line. Montrezl Harrell couldn't do that, but Serge Ibaka could. So it actually allowed the Clippers to help them with their space and allowed them to operate a lot easier and get easier drives to the basket because the basket is not as clogged. If you look at the Clippers now, the paint is usually very clogged to get to the paint because Zoo is an anchor. Zoo doesn't really move out of the post. Zoo does a lot of things great, but that's not one of the things he does. He doesn't stretch the floor, right? That's not something he does. And DeMarcus Cousins, to be quite honest with you, I haven't seen enough playing from him to really understand what he can bring. Now, I saw in one game he was able to hit a stretch, a mid-range jump shot. I didn't see him hit a three yet. I'm not sure. Maybe he has him. He hasn't. I'm not sure yet. But this is one of the advantages that Serge Ibaka brings to the team. If you look at my man Patrick Beverly, right? Although he's missed roughly 50% of the games, in the games that he's played, he's averaging 8 points per game, 3.6 rebounds, and 2 assists per game, right? So Patrick Beverly, we know that a lot of the things that he does for the Clippers will not show up on the stat sheet. They just won't show up on the stat sheet. He does a lot of things. He does a lot of the dirty work for the Clippers that's not going to show up on the stat sheet. But these two guys have been out for a very, 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 very long time. Y'all saw the game. I'm going to say it again. You guys saw the game that they played against the Philadelphia 76ers. They had no answer for Joel Embiid. If the Clippers feel that they're going to go into the playoffs this year and go play one of those Western Conference teams that has a dominant big like Nikola Jokic or somebody like this, it's not going to work. We already saw this happen last year. We've already seen this movie, and it's just going to happen again. It's just going to happen again. And also, the Clippers, one of the issues that they had last season was that they didn't have enough continuity. They didn't. And this year, they've been managing to win games for a number of reasons because their defense, they now have a top 10 defense. They're the number one team in the NBA at three-point shooting over 41.8% from the three. They're making about 14.5 three-pointers a game. So there's a lot of things that's assisting them. They have a much deeper team. But when I start reading you guys some of the stats of their key players in the games that they've missed, y'all are going to realize how serious this is. Let me look at some of the comments that you guys are leaving here. Let me see. The Clippers' interior defense is atrocious. Yeah, it's atrocious because when you remove a shot blocker, it's going to affect them. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys. We're almost at 100 people. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. Let me see. Is Ibaka done for the season? I don't know. I got the Clippers coming out of the West. The Lakers are the biggest threat to them. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Lakers in a second. Also, we got a video coming out later today on the Lakers about them being a threat. So make sure you check around and hang around the channel. It's about the Lakers and the Clippers. Make sure you guys check around. hang around, we're definitely going to do that. Thank you for that. Let me see your question. Ryan, hey Ryan, good to see you again as usual. Is it me, or does it seem that when LeBron wins championship years prior, they are key players on that team that can dethrone LeBron are injured? It could be. It could be, but I think Ryan, to your point, I think it's also been the same for some other players too, for some other scenarios too. There have been some times when it didn't work in LeBron James's favor. For example, when it worked in LeBron James's favor when he was playing against the Golden State Warriors, and Draymond Green went out in that series. But it's also happened to other teams as well. That also happened to the Golden State Warriors. I think it was in 2015, 2016 playoffs when they were playing against the San Antonio Spurs. And Kawhi Leonard and these guys were putting a beat down on them, at least in that first game, right? A lot of people say, like Max Kellerman say, listen, they were going to win that series regardless. There's no way that Spurs team was going to be able to beat that Golden State Warriors team. But up until that point, we had never seen a team get the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant down that much. Kawhi Leonard gets injured and he's out of the series. So even the Golden State Warriors, this is Ryan to your point, have also benefited. It happened also when they were playing against the Houston Rockets and Chris Paul got injured. You remember that? It's happened to so many people, so many teams. Like a lot of teams have benefited because of that. It's another question. Do you think the Clippers are saving Cousins for the playoffs? I'm going to get to that point because one of the things I've been hearing from some Clippers fans and just some people in general is that, well, you want to save your players. You want to save guys. Let them rest, right? Let me tell you guys something. I want to put things in perspective for you guys, okay? One of the problems that the Clippers are having right now, and one of the things I'm not understanding right now about this team, is their guards rotations, okay? Because Patrick Beverley's always in and out of the lineup. You just brought in Rajon Rondo. You have Reggie Jackson, who is a starting six-man, it seems, because traditionally, he's supposed to be a six-man coming off the bench, traditionally. But in this particular scenario, he's starting because Patrick Beverley is injured. You bring in Rondo. Rajon Rondo, all of us were happy as hell for the Clippers to get Rajon Rondo. To this day, to this moment, I don't know if Rajon Rondo is going to be a starter or he's going to be coming off the bench for the Clippers. I don't know this. A lot of us have said, well, maybe Rondo, they're going to, what is it? He's not going to start games. He's going to finish games. That hasn't been the case thus far, number one. Number two, I've seen a lot of situations where the Clippers have been playing with Rondo. Their offense will become stagnant, and he'll be sitting on the bench. And I'll be asking myself, if you're not going to play him now, if he's not going to get these minutes with this team now when they're struggling, now when he needs to understand how to get them out of tough spots when they actually need him, is it in the playoffs? We're going to wait to see how Rondo is going to be able to solve their problems. Doesn't he need some time with different units on the floor in pressurized situations? Wouldn't you think they would want to get all of this stuff done now, given that they only have 14 games left in the season? How are the Clippers supposed to build chemistry if they don't play? Last season, this was the same issue that the Clippers had. The issue they had was a lack of continuity. Okay, that was the issue that they had. Right now, they don't have a guard rotation. If I ask you guys to leave it in the comment section, tell me the Clippers starting five or tell me their point guard and shooting guard rotation. Let me see what you guys are going to say because I have no clue what it is. Because on a nightly basis, it changes, right? It's a fluid. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Also, guys, I see some comments coming in. Make sure you guys hit the join button to join the channel so I can differentiate them. Do you do live chat on StreamYard? No, we don't. We use another service. That's part of the Dreamerspro Max platform. We're going to, matter of fact, I think we'll probably be live chatting tonight. Make sure you guys keep hitting the likes. We're good. We're getting toward 150 people. Let's just keep it going up. Appreciate that. Let me see. Okay, this is not for me. Paul George played 39 minutes last game. I doubt they're saving anything. Of course, they're not saving anything. What are they saving? What are you saving it for? Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second. Paul George, by the way, now that you brought it up, somebody had brought it up before. Let me just say this. First of all, I don't know if you guys saw the game last night with Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors versus the Boston Celtics. Stephen Curry was hitting some shots in that game that were like head scratch. I was like, is this dude really like Stephen Curry is a very good player. I think Stephen Curry has scored 30 plus points for 10 games in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has the record right now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, right? Y'all know that Paul George has been like on a 5-game scoring streak of scoring like 30 plus points a game. Do any of you guys doubt that Paul George, if Kawhi Leonard was going to miss the next 5 games, do any of you guys doubt that Paul George could keep scoring 30 plus points a game? I don't. I think he could do it. And this is what I was trying to say. Paul George has the talent to be one of the best players on the floor on any given night. The issue with him is he going to do it in the playoffs? He's been carrying the team. Last game that they played against the Philadelphia 76ers, I think he took close to 30 shots. I love that. You can't be worrying about efficiency when Kawhi Leonard, your best player, is not playing, and you're worrying about efficiency. You need to take as many shots to make sure your team stays in that game. Some people try to criticize, oh, he didn't shoot a great field goal percentage. What if he didn't shoot at all? What do you think the Clippers would have been? If he didn't shoot as much, they would not have had a chance because he was their best option on the floor. So for me, I don't care about that. The efficiency thing is a thing people like to play with. For me, Paul George did his thing. So let me give you guys this stat. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. Let me give you guys this stat for the people that feel like, oh, they need to rest the Clippers because they need to rest. They need to rest. They need to rest. Let me tell you guys something. The Clippers have played 58 games this season. Welcome to the new people coming in right now. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. They've played 58 games this season. The total combined missed games of their starters have missed a combined 87 games together. That's the combined games missed by their starters. Marcus Morris Sr. has missed 13 games. Paul George has missed 13 games. I think Kawhi Leonard has missed like 8 or 9 games. Patrick Beverley's missed 25 plus games. Serge Ibaka is right up there, I think around 20-something games that he's missed this season. So to the people that are saying, no, they need to rest them. Help me understand. What are these guys, what are you resting them for? They've been resting. Serge Ibaka, I like Serge Ibaka. Again, every time I see Serge, he's either doing a video shoot or he's doing his commercial or he's at the pool. I have no problem with Serge. I like Serge a lot. Back injuries, I've been told, are very important. That's what I've been told. They're very important, and they can flare up at any time. And then once something goes wrong with that, then you can find yourself in a lot of trouble. So my question is this: is Serge Ibaka done for the season or not? Hey, Arturo, good to see you. Welcome. Is he done for the season or is he not? If the answer is no, if Serge is not done for the season, my question is, why isn't he playing? If the answer is that they're resting him, Serge has only played 39 of 58. He's already missed 21 games. So what are they resting Serge for? I thought rest had to do with the fact that you've been working, so therefore I need rest. Serge hasn't played. So what are they resting him for? If they're trying to be cautious, to say we don't want to take any risks, do y'all know that Serge can also get injured in the playoffs? Are y'all aware of this? Serge Ibaka can go into the playoffs and get injured. Do we know this? The Clippers have not won a title. It's not like the Lakers. The Lakers have been together. Their core unit is still together. Mostly the core guys that they won with last year, they're still together. That's not the case this season. The Clippers need continuity. I was listening to their president of basketball operations, Lawrence Frank. He said last year, the type of team we were a switch team, right? The switch was off and then we try to turn it on in the playoff. This year, turn it on in the playoff. This year, we're trying to be a dial team. So as we get closer to the play, we turn up the dial. So my question is, how are you going to turn up the dial when your key guys, your starting 5 players, have missed a combined 87 games so far in 58 games of the season? How are you supposed to do that? Or is it in fact that the Clippers are going to try to go into the playoffs and try to turn on the switch? When is Serge going to come back? In round 1 of the playoffs? Is he going to come back in game 1? That's when we're going to see Serge Ibaka? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, you said I'm equating 2 different things. What are the things I'm not? Okay, Charles, they are not resting. They are letting him recover. I've understood this. If you're saying he's recovering from his back injury, right? They're saying that he's going to recover and they have no timetable. This essentially means that Serge Ibaka is not coming back because there's an indefinite, we don't know when he's coming back. This is my question. We don't know when he's coming back. So they might as well just assume, we might as well just assume that he's not coming at all. I believe the Dow thing is about being consistent. Yes, my friend, you can be consistent. But for you to be consistent, everybody needs to be on the floor. You can't be consistent if you're missing key pieces. How can you build continuity when guys are in and out of the lineup every other night? That's my only point. How are you going to do that? They are curious why you think they are resting Braun and AD. Maybe they are. Skip Bayless. Make sure you guys hit the like button, guys, so we can get the notifications out. We're almost at 150. Skip Bayless has been saying that he thinks that LeBron is really trying to use this as a way to get rest, right? LeBron is a unique circumstance. LeBron, if you look at the amount of minutes he's played over his career, if you look at his age, I don't even think we need to be paying attention to LeBron. LeBron is a unique case, okay? We're talking about other guys. LeBron is always in the finals every year, it seems like. This is not really about LeBron. What I'm talking about is, when is Serge coming back? If we don't know when he's coming back, then we don't know what this team really is. Because you bring in different personnel, the team is going to function differently. This is just my opinion. Teams who are contenders, looking at AD situation and looking at other, okay, they are doing good without him right now. So I think they should get him to be 100%, then playing a risk and getting him injured. Again, nobody here is saying that they shouldn't be cautious with him. No one is saying that. What I'm saying is the season is ending in 3 weeks. There are 14 games left. I don't know how you're going to bring Serge into a team that he's only played 30 games with or 39 games with, go into the playoffs and then try to figure things out. The Clippers are still trying to integrate new pieces into their thing. The Lakers are quite different, even though their star players have been out. Their role players have been playing so many minutes. LeBron and AD already know how to play with each other. The only thing I think LeBron and AD are going to have as far as a learning curve is learning how to play with Andre Drummond, and Andre Drummond learning how to play with them. That's really it. The Clippers are missing their point guard and they're missing their center. And now we're talking about bringing Serge Ibaka off the bench. So that means that when he comes into the playoffs, that's when he's going to start working on his conditioning. Again, I don't see how this is a positive. I think the medical staff of a lot of these teams, make sure you guys keep leaving your questions. I think the medical staffs of these teams are taking it a little bit too far. Nick Rice said at some point this is becoming like a pseudoscience. That's what it's looking like. Okay, you've had situations where, look at the Brooklyn Nets game versus the Lakers. Kyrie Irving was playing well, had like 30 plus points in that game. In the fourth quarter, I think they had him on minute restrictions, and you're telling me if you bring him in for an additional 2 to 3 minutes, he's going to get injured. What are we talking about? Does this even make any on a practical level? A lot of people are a little bit too dogmatic. Let's use our common sense. Did that make sense to you? Same thing happened with Kevin Durant. He was playing one game, they took him out. I think he was on a minute restrictions. He was texting from the thing. Like he was shocked that he couldn't come back in the game. He was perfectly healthy. So this thing is going a little bit too far. I know a lot of these medical staffs are trying to be overprotective and be very protective of their players. I get that. Although we're supposed to be more advanced, guys are getting injured more. Some people saying, listen, it's a truncated, the season is too short, and maybe that's the reason why guys are being injured, but the other guys have been playing. So really, probably, does it have anything to do with the season, or is it that it just have to do with the people, the individual person? Because there are a lot of guys have been playing. Look at Nikola Jokic. So it can't be about the science. Nikola Jokic has been playing. Nikola Jokic has played almost all the games this season. He's a 7-footer. So what's the excuse we're going to make for that then? We're going to blame it on the schedule? He's playing the same schedule as everybody else. He's playing more games. It comes down to the individual and the team's medical staff and how conservative they want to be. That's really what it comes down to, right? Paul George has been playing. He was sick. He played. What's going to happen in the playoffs? You think everybody's going to go into the playoffs 100% healthy, get into the playoffs, and then, if I'm at 85% or 80%, I'm going to go sit down till I get to 100%. What are we talking about? Players are always injured in the playoffs. You saw Kyle Lowry. I brought up the excuse. The example. Last time we saw Kyle Lowry in the NBA fight, he had I think a cast on his hand. Who goes into the playoffs and you're going through the rounds and expecting not to get nicked up and banged up along the way? It's like we're trying to prevent something that we can't prevent. Now we're talking Kawhi with his knee. Kawhi's been playing back-to-backs. I have no issue with Kawhi Leonard. He's been playing back-to-backs. My only question is, when is Serge and when are these guys coming back? The Clippers, the organization, a little bit too casual. Oh, yeah, they'll come back when they're ready. I don't know about all of that, man. The Clippers haven't won a title yet. They can't be trying to follow the Lakers. The Lakers already won the title. Okay, so I think it's a little bit different. Let me go through some of your comments here. Again, guys, for the new people in here, please make sure you hit the like button. We're almost at 150 people. Again, if you haven't joined the channel, make sure you hit the join button, hit the $ and join so I can pick out your comments. There are a lot of comments here. So let me see who I'm going to look at. Somebody says, I hate Skip. Okay. Raptors had to go through with Leonard in 2019. Raptors had to go through this with okay, that's they did. No, we don't need to see. No, we don't know, but I see what you're saying. Okay. I do believe Serge will come off the bench. I don't know what's going to happen with Serge, to be honest with you. And the Rondo thing, I still don't know what's happening with that, to be honest with you. A lot of these late game substitution I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, what's wrong with Ibaka? I don't know. He was doing a video earlier. I don't know. Do you think the Clippers will have Serge come back playing non-500 teams to rep him up again? Probably so. But again, Ryan, the question is when? There are 14 games left in the season. Patrick Beverley is going to miss at least another 4. Then they're probably going to have 10 games left. These dudes are not LeBron James. They're not going to hit the floor and start running. They're not the same people. Like people are like, oh, LeBron is in a completely different universe. If you think about how LeBron takes care of his body and all, LeBron is in a completely different universe. So like guys need to play. Time is running out. The Clippers are a very good team, but they need guys on the floor. I don't even know who's playing tonight, to be honest with you. I think Kawhi has missed the last 3 games, so Kawhi has missed the last week. They're going to have a good game against what's the game? What's the team? They're going to be playing Portland on Tuesday, although they're playing the Wolves tonight. Teams can still move around in the playoff seeding. Does that matter? Are we saying that none of this matters? You're just going to go into the playoffs, and then wherever the chips land, that's what we're going to do? They're playing with fire, in my opinion. Let me see what else you guys are saying. I wish Cousins could get more time now, not understanding why he doesn't rotate with Zoo. I don't understand what the lineups Ty Lue's running, to be honest. I don't understand, to be honest with you. Let me see. What else you got? Kyrie didn't come back against the 76ers, not the Lakers. Okay, the Sixers. Yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Serge, I don't know about him, but a back injury is nothing to play with. Yes, no one is disputing that. My only thing is he coming back or not? Because I've had people in my family that have had back issues. It can flare up at any moment. If we're saving him to the last minute, you're then making the decision that you know that this player that you're bringing into your system this year has only played half the season. And there's going to be a cost that you pay for that. Y'all remember after last year in the Orlando bubble, make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button. Appreciate that. Y'all remember, we saw this story before. Y'all remember last year in the Orlando bubble, what happened? Guys came into the bubble out of shape. Y'all remember this. What happened with Montrezl Harrell? Do y'all remember? I think it was in the 8 bubble games. Montrezl Harrell was huffing and puffing because what? He was out of shape. Y'all remember that, right? That was Montrezl Harrell, who's a younger basketball player than Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka's 31. Montrezl Harrell's like in his mid-20s or something. Y'all remember that. This is not magic. I don't care who you are. If you don't play basketball, which is, I'm assuming is very taxing on your body. You don't play for 2 months. You think you're going to get back your basketball legs in a week or 2? People are bugging. I used to run, okay? Whenever I would go on summer break, and I really wouldn't run the way I would like to. Do y'all know how long it took me just to get back my running wind and all of that? You get out of shape. It takes you weeks to get back ready. And I'm just talking about somebody like me that was just running. You're talking about people that are playing in the NBA. They're not just going to roll up out of bed. And then also, you're doing this in the playoffs. This is when guys are going to start getting their conditioning. It's a gamble that they're playing. And personally, I don't think Serge is going to come back before the season is over with. Because if Serge Ibaka comes back in the last 5 games, my friend, why didn't you come back before? Because it means you're going to be working yourself into shape in the playoffs. Think about that. How are you helping yourself by doing this? That's all I'm going to say. We can act like it doesn't matter. We can act like conditioning doesn't matter. Look at Rajon Rondo. He's still learning to play, but we can act like that doesn't matter. But it does matter. And we're trying to say, oh, well, it's fine. We'll see. This one, anybody can get injured. Kawhi Leonard can injure his foot in the playoffs. Like, don't even go outside anymore. Hey, thanks for joining and being a member. Don't even go outside anymore. I was watching the Formula One race earlier today. Guys were complaining about the track conditions. Oh, it's too wet and this. The guy said, then you might as well just have stayed home. Because if it's not this, it's going to be that. You might as well just stay home. If you're expecting to have a perfect, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Let me get to your comment. Make sure you guys keep hitting the like button, guys, and make sure you join the channel. Welcome, your boy Greg. What's good? Thank you so much for joining. Okay. Let me see what other comments do you have. Gilbert, how you doing? Gilbert, how you doing? Let me see what else you guys got. Just hope Serge in shape right now when we speaks about I don't know how Serge is going to stay in shape. Let me go through some of your other comments. Okay, let me go through some of your comments. The Clippers should play now every game with full force. Their starters as the bench crew should make good habits, especially. Yes, you need good habits. Tyronn Lue spoke to the fact of having good habits. Again, I don't know how you're going to build good habits with so many different lineups. How are you going to do it? Another thing for the people that feel like, oh, resting is such a good thing. How are you going to have your playoff rotation? If I ask you guys right now in the comment section, tell me the Clippers 8-player playoff rotation right now. Tell me, what is it? First of all, what's their starting five? I know Kawhi is in the starting five as a small forward. I know Paul George is their shooting guard. I know Marcus Morris Sr. is their power forward. And then tell me the other, who's the Clippers starting point guard? As we speak today, who's the Clippers starting point guard? Who is it? You wouldn't be able to say because these guys are always injured. Is it Reggie Jackson? Well, you and I know Reggie Jackson is not going to be a starting point guard in the playoffs because you said it's Patrick Beverley. Is Patrick Beverley going to be the starting point guard of the Clippers? Is that the starting point guard? So if Patrick Beverley is the starting point guard of the Clippers, why did they bring Rajon Rondo? Why? You had Reggie Jackson as your backup point guard. You had Patrick Beverley. So you're telling me the only reason the Clippers went out there and got Rajon Rondo is to be a backup to Patrick Beverley? That's the same Patrick Beverley that they had in the bubble last year. Oh, by the way, that was also injured. So I don't understand I don't personally understand what they're doing. I don't even know their bench rotation. Is it going to be Luke Kennard? We know Zubac, assuming Serge starts. Well, oh, by the way, Serge, we don't know when he's coming back. So it's probably Zoo. So now we're saying Serge can come off the bench. But what if they play the Denver Nuggets? So what? We're going to start off the game with Zoo on Nikola Jokic? Are we serious? Do people understand how good these guys are? We're going to start off with Zoo on Anthony Davis? He ain't got nothing for him. Zoo ain't got nothing for Anthony Davis. They're going to need to play a combination of Serge, Zoo, and Cousins. AD is a big boy. He is no joke. So, this is my whole thing. The fact that I can't say this with 14 games left in the season is a problem. I don't know. Their rotations that they run, I heard somebody say, well, maybe the best guard lineup is Rondo and Reggie Jackson. Okay, so let's look at the positions on the floor. If it's Rondo and Reggie Jackson, who's the point guard? Rondo. Your 2 is Reggie. So where's Paul George? You're going to put Reggie ahead of Paul? So are we talking about a bench or the starting? No, your best lineup, your best defensive lineup is either Rondo or Pat and the point guard, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris Sr., and Serge. That's their best defensive lineup. If they really want to go small, they can put Marcus Morris Sr. at the 5 and then put Nicholas Batum at the 4, who's a very good defender and a sneaky shot blocker, right? But again, we don't know the lineups. And we're going into May. May is going to happen in about 2.5 weeks or in a week and a half. And we're still sitting here talking about Clippers rotations. Let me see what else you guys got for me. Max. Hey, Max, thanks for. Which team is the biggest threat to the Lakers? Clippers? I think the biggest threat to the Lakers is the Clippers. But I still do have some question marks about the Clippers as far as their rotations because guys are not healthy. The Lakers, as I said, Anthony Davis is coming back next week. Okay, he's coming back next week. LeBron James is going to come back shortly after. LeBron James is a basketball savant. He's a basketball genius. The time is going to take LeBron James to integrate with players is going to be a lot faster than the time is going to take Serge Ibaka or some other players to integrate with some new players. It's not the same. It's not the same. The Lakers, given the fact that they're still the number one rated defensive team in the NBA, they're still the number one. The Philadelphia 76ers are number two. And if the Clippers somehow make it out of the Western Conference and they get to the finals and they meet the Sixers, if they don't have Serge, what do you think is going to happen? So to me, the Lakers are the top dog as far as because they've been there and done it already. Then you have the Clippers. And then I'll probably put in Utah, but I think Donovan Mitchell just got injured recently. Phoenix Suns, I don't know about them yet. I still got to see how they did. They did very well last year in the Orlando bubble, winning all 8 of their games. Given the fact that Jamal Murray's been injured, that's really, 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 really going to hurt the the Denver Nuggets. If he was healthy and Aaron Gordon and all of these guys were there, then I'll say I'll put the Denver Nuggets are a scary team, especially for these Clippers. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Okay. Beverly is the starting. George, Kawhi, Morris, Zubac. Yes, but the problem is Beverly's not available. So if we're saying he's available, you will start Beverly over Rondo is what you're saying. And if that's the case, why did you bring Rondo? To be the backup point guard. We saw Patrick Beverly with the Clippers last year. It didn't work. Essentially, this is the same lineup that they used last year in the playoffs. It didn't work. Zubac wasn't good enough. He wasn't good. He wasn't skilled enough offensively and defensively. Zoo is an anchor. He doesn't help with the spacing. He plays with a lot of energy. He can play great man-to-man defense. He's a bit clumsy with the ball, but he doesn't stretch the floor. Serge brings a different threat, and he's better at defense around the rim. Zoo is doing his thing. So if that's the case, why do we bring Serge? This is my only question. I don't understand it. Let me see what else you guys got. Okay. No, Mitchell is injured. Then you see, and now Mitchell is injured. So Ty Lue will change roster by playoff time. I certainly hope so. Whatever that starting lineup is going to be, I don't know. Doesn't matter who starts. Rondo will finish. I hope so. I really hope so. What else you guys got? LeBron blessing in disguise for the Lakers. They got a lot of reps for LeBron on the bench scenario. Yeah, it's going to help the Lakers. The Lakers have been impressive. They just beat the Utah. I know they didn't play with Donovan Mitchell. I know that. I don't think he played. The Lakers just was it the Lakers? I think the Lakers beat the Jazz. They beat them in overtime. The Lakers beat them in overtime, and some people were asking about the Suns. I don't know if Devin Booker has been injured. I don't know if Chris Paul has been injured. They just lost to 20-plus points to the San Antonio Spurs. So there's a lot of things still happening in the season. I'm not worried one bit. Clippers need to be healthy. That's all. If they're healthy, then we're talking about something else. Intel Wild, the purple and gold. So I guess it's a Laker fan. Okay. Laker. Okay, good. Welcome. What else? Let me see what else you guys have. So, Serge needs to get it. Okay. Why do you get mad about Pat, Beverly, and Zoo when they play? Zoo does good. It's just when he goes to the bench, there wasn't no big. And Pat Bev played good in the bubble. The others didn't. Okay. If that's the lineup you want to go with, fine. No problem. I'm not going to fight with you. Charles, do you think if Zubac could shoot threes, we could have a problem? Yes, if he could. Right? Like if he could. That's the problem. If he could. Let me see what else you guys have. Any other questions? Let me see. Okay. Let me see what else. Okay. Jazz sat 3 starters. Okay, I didn't know that. Booker shot 6 of 17, and CP3 only had 8 points. That's why. Okay, so they didn't play well. It happens. Happened to the Clippers. Make sure you guys keep in the like. Make sure you guys keep in the like button, guys. So we get more notifications. Pat is injury prone. Yes, he is, unfortunately, but I love Patrick Beverly. I like Pat when he's on the floor. The team has a different level of intensity. He's always communicating. They usually play better defense when he's on the floor. He's very versatile, Patrick Beverly. You switch off on Patrick Beverly, he can hold his own, right? Y'all remember the game that they played against the Lakers? Now, obviously, Patrick Beverly cannot guard LeBron James. No one is saying that. But for one possession, Patrick Beverly can play good against point guards, shooting guards, and some small forwards for one possession. Not for multiple possessions. And I don't know any other point guard that they have except Rajon Rondo. Rondo can also play defense, and he's very, very crafty. As an overall package, I don't even think it's close. I would take Rondo. Can anybody put up stats from okay? Okay. Someone saying that Pat was okay. I mean, okay. So I think I think I pretty much answered all of you guys' questions. Let me see. Rondo's not a starter. He's their mid-range. Okay. Why we need to see this team in full strength. Chemistry is key. Yeah, chemistry is key. Chemistry is key. I really think it is. I have another question. Do you think LeBron will stay in the Lakers or go to another team? Nah, LeBron is staying. LeBron James is going to – where's he going to go to? I think LeBron has 2 houses in L.A. Why would he leave? No, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he would. Where would he go to? I think at this point, LeBron is probably going to recruit people. I don't think LeBron is going to go anywhere. Maybe some people have been talking about Stephen Curry possibly going to go play with the Lakers. I think probably something like that could happen. I remember during the All-Star break, they were on TV when they were picking their All-Star teams, and Dwayne Wade made a joke with LeBron James, like an inside joke, and LeBron kind of laughed it off like, hey, man, come on, you're talking a little bit too much. I think Dwayne Wade might have hinted that LeBron tried to get Luka Doncic. He made a he kind of made like a reference to it, and LeBron kind of laughed it off, right? So you never know what's going to happen, but I don't think LeBron is going to leave LA. I don't think he would. Like, I don't think he would. Why would he? Why would he at that level with that type of wealth? Where are you going to go? Where's he going to go play else in the state? And he just won with them. So, and you're with the Lakers. Like, what's the other organization he's going to go to? I don't think he's going to leave. Curry's staying with the Warriors. I hope so, but who knows? He could leave. He could leave. Clippers will not be able to go further than the Clippers. Yeah, I don't think the Clippers are moving up. All right, you guys, I'm out getting ready to go eat then. Okay, Ryan, thanks so much. Terrence Mann is a wild card. Yes, he is. So anyway, my only thing is this. I think the Clippers players need to get healthy. I see some more people are coming in now, but it's a little bit late. We've been on here for almost an hour. But I think the Clippers need to get healthy. I think they need to get these guys on the court. I don't know when Serge is going to come back. I think they need to also know what their playoff rotations are going to be going into the playoffs. I don't think they know that yet. And I think the only way for you to know that, you need to get everybody on the floor to test different lineups. As of now, we don't know. So we will have to wait and see. That's just my opinion. So I hope they get healthy, because the Lakers are going to start ramping things up when AD and LeBron get back, and they're not going to be an easy out, in my opinion. So that's what I think. So once again, guys, I think I've answered as many questions as I can from you guys. I think I answered as many questions as I can. We're getting close to 200 people in here. I think I've gotten all the questions that I got. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. We really appreciate that. Anyway, I want to wish you guys a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next live. We don't know when we're going to go live next, but I'll definitely catch you guys on the next live. Also, check out Dreamerspro Max, the sports community. I see you guys are still posting comments. Check out Dreamerspro Max. You can leave your basketball discussions. We do chat live during games there, so you can definitely check that out and be a part of that. Get 7 days of access. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. Make sure you join the channel. If you haven't already, hit the $ and join. If I miss any of your comments, leave them on one of the videos. When I see your loyalty badge, it'll help me make it a little bit easier for me to respond to you guys. Thanks again, and I'll definitely catch you guys on the next live. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. All right, peace.